Going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about week 12 of the college football season. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. The first team I want to get into today is the Oregon Ducks. Now, like I said, there was no surprise. I seen the way they played Friday night over Oregon State. There was no surprise because they were at home and they had lost to them the previous time last year. So Bo Nix, he had an outstanding game. He had 367 yards, 2 touchdowns. This game was a blowout at halftime. I seen the entire game when Oregon went up 21-7. I said this game is over with because a lot of people, they draw attention towards the Oregon Ducks offense, but their defense is top notch too. And I got to give credit where credit is due when it comes to their defense. Their defense throughout the regular season has only given up 18 points per game, and they have one of the best third down defenses in the country. Now, this week, later on this week, they will play Washington for the Pac-12 championship, but I will save my prediction for another video. But all in all, the Oregon Ducks, they did what they were supposed to do. Oregon State, they had a good season. Only thing that they can get into now is a bowl game, and that is what I expect coming into the season. I expected for Oregon to get to the Pac-12 championship, and Oregon State just to play for a bowl game. Now, the next team I want to talk about is the Ohio State Buckeyes and Michigan Wolverines. Now, Ohio State, you had a chance to win this game, but you didn't. In fact, this is the third straight year that you have fallen to your arch rival in the big game, in the Michigan Wolverines. Now Kyle McCord, he threw those two throws that were interceptions were ill advised. You threw those passes, they are in with his man in double coverage. Rule 101, quarterback 101, you never throw to a man that is double covered or even triple covered for that matter. You did that twice in the game, and that is what led to you losing. Because Marvin Harrison, he had 115 yards in the game. I expected him to have 150. I was just off by 35 yards. But the defense, the Ohio State defense, they did what they were supposed to do. They kept the game close, and it was on the quarterback. The quarterback, Kyle McCord, he failed to deliver when the lights were on at its brightest. Now, with Ohio State, they gonna be out of the playoff. So ain't no playoff. They can get to a bowl game. They can get to a New Year's Six bowl. But as far as them going to the playoff, they ain't going to the playoff. The next team I want to talk about is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama Crimson Tide, against all odds, they came out of the game on Saturday with a win. They had all of these penalties going against them, defensive lapses on third down, and everything else was going against them. But the last play of the game was fourth and goal at the 31. Fourth and goal, or you can call it fourth and forever. Jalen Milroe threw it to Isaiah Bond, and he bond Alabama out of trouble with that catch in the back corner of the end zone, which at that point in time, all was lost. But Alabama showed what the true identity of a champion is, and that is why Nick Saban is the coach at Alabama, and he won't leave Alabama. Alabama, they got Georgia coming up this week. That's going to be a good game. My prediction will be in the next video, but I'm going to just stay on what Alabama had to endure against Auburn. Auburn, they was running it up and down the field, but Auburn, reason why they lost this game is because Auburn doesn't have a reliable passing game. They don't. The quarterback that's back there, the quarterback that's behind them, he didn't have a good game. He only threw the ball 12 times. You don't have no passing game if you just throwing the ball 12 times. And Alabama's defense, they did what they had to do at the end. They ended up the last play of the game was an interception for a touchdown, but the score and game clock operator didn't count that touchdown, which it should have been 33-24. Instead, it was 27-24, and that was the final score. But they duped Alabama out of those 6 points because the clock was still going, the game was still going on. But no means of that. I want to get back to Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe had over 100 yards rushing and 259 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Jermaine Burton, all hands Burton as I like to call him, Jermaine Burton, he had 4 receptions, over 100 yards and 1 touchdown. And though most of those yards were timely yards, were yards that you needed on 3rd down, and the SEC championship is set. But I will talk about that in my next video. The next game I want to talk about is the Kentucky Wildcats and Louisville Cardinals. Louisville Cardinals, they already set with in the ACC championship versus the Florida State Seminoles. So this game really didn't mean much, but I was surprised the way that Kentucky came out and just went up and down the field and scored on them. Even though that Louisville only lost by 7, they should have won this game. Really, if they would have won this game, it would have just been icing on the cake because you still would have had to play FSU, which you are about to play FSU this week. So Louisville, that's all I have for them. Coming into the season, I didn't expect nothing from Louisville. Louisville is raising a whole lot of eyebrows, a whole lot, because we didn't expect this from Louisville. We expected Louisville to be one of the bottom teams in the ACC, but they are showing me and a whole lot more people that they are a better team than what they were projected coming into the season. The next team I want to talk about is Georgia. Now, Georgia, this is your 29th straight win. Boy, y'all had to break a sweat versus the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to get it, though. I mean, it's like Georgia Tech, I knew that they had a good team, but I didn't think that they would keep it close throughout the game. Carson Beck, he just had an average game, 175 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kendall Middleton, he had 156 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and the wide receiver Evan Stingley Jr., he had 4 receptions, 96 yards, and that's all it was. With this game right here, I knew that Georgia was going to win this game, but I didn't expect it to be close. Georgia. Now, here's one thing. Your cupcake schedule is over now. It is. It's over. This is where the meat and potatoes of the schedule start. Now you got Alabama this week. You got Alabama in Atlanta, Georgia. We gonna see how you fare against the Alabama defense and Jalen Milroe. Your secondary is straight garbage. If Alabama wants to win this game, they have got to get into your secondary and beyond and score touchdowns and not field goals. Now, I'm gonna put that in my next video. I'm gonna save all my predictions for the championship games this week in college football. I'm gonna save that for my next video. This is my reaction video for week 12 of the college football season. Week 13 of the college football season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, the key is always on time.